As you watch this video, the total value of the crypto market is growing by billions of dollars. This incredible growth is fundamentally due to the intense competition between the thousands of projects which now make up the crypto space. Competition drives innovation, and that innovation creates value. Decentralized finance protocols, non-fungible tokens, and immersive virtual worlds are just a few of the valuable innovations we've seen so far. However, the blockchains which underlie the cryptocurrencies that power these new technologies have not seen nearly the same degree of innovation. This is a problem because the proof-of-work and proof-of-stake blockchains we see today have some serious limitations that will only become more apparent as time goes on. One of the only projects which has been addressing this issue is Avalanche, and its future-proof blockchain technology is a big part of why the AVAX token has been one of the top-performing cryptos over the last 6 months. So today, I'm going to tell you all about the other things Avalanche has been up to, and why they suggest AVAX's recent price action is just the beginning. Before we hit the slopes, I need to dash any false hopes. I am not a financial advisor, and nothing in this video should be considered financial or investment advice. I would also like to apologize to any skiers or snowboarders who are looking for information about actual avalanches. I'm afraid you've stumbled across the wrong video, but if you've made it this far, you may as well stick around and learn about some magic internet money. My name is Guy, and if this is your first time here, let me tell you what the Coin Bureau is all about. On this channel, you'll find the highest quality cryptocurrency reviews, news, and guides on YouTube. It's basically a one-stop shop for everything you need to know about the crypto market. If you want to get a ring when the next video is up, then subscribe to the channel and give that notification bell a ding. Below, you'll also find timestamps to the various topics I'll be covering today, so feel free to skip around if you see one you just can't wait to hear about. Oh, and one more thing. You should know that I hold AVAX as part of my cryptocurrency portfolio. If you want to know what other cryptos I'm holding, I'll let you know how you can find out later on in the video. Now then, let's see if AVAX will make some stacks. If you're unfamiliar with Avalanche, allow me to quickly bring you up to speed. Avalanche is the brainchild of computer scientist Dr. Emin Gun Sirer. To give you an idea of just how legit this guy is, he created a proof-of-work cryptocurrency prototype called Karma in 2001, and has consequently been accused of being Bitcoin's creator, Satoshi Nakatmoto, on multiple occasions. Emin has been a professor at Cornell University for the past 20 years, where he specializes in distributed ledger technologies. After reading a research paper about a novel consensus protocol that was shared by an anonymous entity known as Team Rocket in 2018, Emin decided to take a leave of absence from teaching to found Ava Labs, a Brooklyn-based software company that develops Avalanche. The Avalanche mainnet went live just 6 months ago in September 2020. In contrast to other cryptocurrency blockchains, Avalanche uses a DAG-optimized proof-of-stake consensus protocol called Avalanche. In the Avalanche consensus, validator nodes gossip with each other about transactions occurring on the network. Like real-life gossip, this information spreads fast and allows all the validators on the network to reach an agreement about the current state of the network within seconds. The end result is a blockchain that is very hard to corrupt, and one that can process well over 4,000 transactions per second. The Avalanche network technically consists of 3 blockchains. The first is the exchange chain, which uses the Avalanche consensus mechanism and hosts the AVAX token along with other digital assets. The second blockchain is the platform chain, which uses a different consensus mechanism called Snowman and allows for the creation of subnets, which are basically customizable Avalanche blockchains. The third blockchain in Avalanche's network is the contract chain. The contract chain also uses the Snowman consensus mechanism and leverages the Ethereum virtual machine to enable smart contract functionality. If you want to learn more about how Avalanche works, you can watch the full video I did on it last year by clicking that link in the top right. Since that video though, Avalanche has had so many updates and partnerships that I could spend the rest of this video talking solely about them. Here are just a few that you need to know about. In November, Avalanche announced plans for the first major upgrade to the network called Apricot. The Apricot upgrade will introduce a governance framework for the Avalanche network, make it possible for token creators to freeze and unfreeze tokens on the Avalanche network, and even make it possible to use Avalanche tokens on Ethereum via a wrapping protocol. I should note that the Apricot upgrade was scheduled to take place in December and has not yet been implemented at the time of shooting this video. This might be because the team was hard at work developing the Avalanche Ethereum bridge, which has been in the works since November and was completed just a couple of days ago. You can now use ERC20 tokens on Avalanche and can also transfer Avalanche's ARC20 tokens to the Ethereum network. I'll leave a link to the Avalanche Ethereum bridge in the video description if you're interested. Although none of the DeFi projects Avalanche has partnered with have launched yet, once they do, they will be rated according to something called the OpenFi framework, which was also revealed in November. This framework will evaluate DeFi protocols on Avalanche as if they were regular companies. Each DeFi protocol will be scored using 6 different metrics, including the originality of the protocol, the user experience, and network effects. In December, Avalanche announced that TrueUSD will be the first regulated stablecoin to launch on the Avalanche network. TUSD is expected to go live on Avalanche in the next couple of months. Now, I imagine this will be around the time Avalanche hosts the first ever initial litigation offering, which it also announced in December. Initial litigation offerings, or ILOs, function similarly to ICOs in that they involve a bunch of people pooling their capital together to provide funding for something. The difference is that instead of funding a cryptocurrency project to build a new blockchain or protocol, ILOs fund the legal team of a plaintiff in a lawsuit, and instead of getting cryptocurrency tokens, investors receive a cut of the money that a plaintiff gets if they win the lawsuit. The first ILO features a hemp research firm called Apotheo LLC, which is suing a county in the state of California for over $1 billion because the local sheriffs unlawfully destroyed 500 acres of Apotheo's hemp farm in 2019. In the next couple of weeks, AVAX token holders will be able to crowdfund Apotheo's litigation efforts for a chance to get a cut of that $1 billion, assuming it wins the case. This conveniently brings me to the AVAX token. Now, if you first invested in AVAX when I first covered Avalanche in September, welcome to the 10x Club. AVAX has gone parabolic over the last couple of weeks and is showing no signs of slowing down. Now, I think AVAX still has insane potential, and this is for a few reasons. Firstly, AVAX has some pretty robust tokenomics. It has a maximum supply of 720 million, and half of those tokens have been set aside for staking rewards. AVAX is also deflationary since it's burned to pay for network fees. So far, over 1.5 million AVAX have been burned from transfer fees alone. I imagine that token burn rate will increase exponentially as DeFi protocols start to deploy on Avalanche in the coming months. Avalanche has also seen an incredible amount of network participation when it comes to staking. There are over 830 validator nodes and 5,400 delegators collectively staking over 73% of AVAX's initial supply of 360 million. This is actually somewhat odd, given that the initial token allocations all have vesting schedules that last for anywhere from 1 to 10 years, and there are technically only about 77 million AVAX in circulation. In any case, staked AVAX tokens are subject to a 2-week lockup period for both delegators and validators. Now, I bet this lockup supercharged AVAX's recent parabolic move, because all the AVAX being staked could not be immediately moved to an exchange to be sold. Another bullish indicator is the number of tokenized assets that have been created on Avalanche. In October, there were 100 tokenized assets on the Avalanche network. Today, there are over 1,000 tokenized assets. Minting and moving these tokens costs AVAX. Although it seems none of these tokenized assets have been moved around yet, I reckon the upcoming introduction of DeFi protocols will do exactly that. Avalanche is also one of the few cryptocurrencies with a presence in Turkey. For those who don't know, Turkey is one of the top countries when it comes to cryptocurrency adoption. This is primarily due to the insane inflation of the Turkish lira, which was nearly 40% in 2020. Avalanche founder Emin Sirer has Turkish heritage, and he seems to be actively engaging with other Turkish academics and speaking as a panelist at various events. Some of these videos have thousands of views, and Google search trends seem to suggest there is some very real buzz going on around Avalanche. The fact that the search trends for Avalanche in Turkey are eerily similar to the search trends for Emin Sirer suggests that the Avalanche Turkish Googlers are searching for is not the snowy kind. When it comes to how high AVAX could go, I've said many times that I think 2021 will be the year of smart contract blockchains. This includes AVAX, which is why I think it will crack the top 10 by the end of this bull market. The top 5 seems possible, but as much as I like Avalanche, I don't think it will be able to dethrone Cardano, Polkadot, or Ethereum this time around. I do think Avalanche can take down XRP, as it's honestly a wonder as to how XRP has managed to maintain its ranking given everything that's going on. This puts my short-term projection for Avalanche at a market cap of roughly $22 billion, which corresponds to a price tag of around $275 per AVAX. If you've watched my video about how to plan your ultimate altcoin exit strategy, you'll know that the upper limit of how high an altcoin could go is effectively set by Bitcoin's own market cap. Assuming Bitcoin goes up to 100K during this cycle, that corresponds to a market cap of roughly $1.5 trillion, which is about a 2x move from its current price. If AVAX pulls that same 2x move with a $22 billion market cap, that works out to around $550 per AVAX in the coming months. If you want to learn how to do this with other cryptocurrencies, be sure to watch that altcoin exit strategy video by clicking up in the top right. When it comes to what's in store for Avalanche, their official roadmap is barely half the story. The only things that are really worth noting there are Avalanche's plans to introduce privacy-preserving subnets and what I understand to be quantum-resistant subnets. In my opinion, the open and closed Avalanche X grants paint a much better picture of what to expect from Avalanche in 2021. As far as the closed grants go, it seems that we're still waiting for a mobile wallet, a browser extension wallet, and a desktop client to be finished. When it comes to open grants, Avalanche is looking for developers to build a whole suite of DeFi applications and protocols. They're looking to fund the development of a DEX like Uniswap, a decentralized borrowing and lending platform like Aave, a decentralized stablecoin protocol like MakerDAO, and a synthetic derivatives platform like UMA. Fun fact, platforms like UMA make it possible to trade stocks without having to rely on a centralized company like Robinhood. And if you want to learn more about that, then be sure to watch my video on cryptocurrencies Robinhood alternatives. In addition to these projects, Avalanche will likely be lowering the threshold required to become a validator node from 2,000 AVAX to just 500 AVAX. Avalanche will also be incorporating the Avalanche Foundation in the coming months. I suspect that we will see the Apricot upgrades go live shortly afterwards, given that the establishment of the foundation is likely required before any governance structure can be put in place. Recent interviews with founder Emin Sirer also suggest that Avalanche is in talks with dozens of central banks around the world to develop central bank digital currencies. Emin even claims that his constant discussion with these foreign banks landed him a call from the FBI. Emin also mentioned in these interviews that the two primary long-term goals of the project are to tokenize non-crypto assets and to survive the inevitable crash at the end of this bull market. The thing is, as a cryptocurrency project, you don't want to just survive, but thrive. Despite all of Avalanche's partnership announcements and the price action of the AVAX token, development on the network seems to have been relatively slow by comparison. So, what gives? A recent report by Outlier Ventures seems to shed light on why development on Avalanche has been lackluster. In short, crypto devs are ditching Ethereum competitors and choosing to biddle in DeFi instead. Even though the report mentions that Avalanche has actually seen an uptick in development in 2020, the overall trend continues downwards, and this is clearly visible on the Ava Labs GitHub. Don't take my word for it, though. Avalanche founder Emin Sirer recently noted that one of the biggest challenges in crypto is finding developers. This is partially because the amount of people who work in cryptocurrency is very small compared to the market cap of the industry. Generous estimates put the entire cryptocurrency workforce in the tens of thousands. For context, there are over 6,000 cryptocurrency projects listed on CoinGecko, and that doesn't count the thousands of others that are probably in development. That works out to just a few people per project. This shortage of labor is why jobs in cryptocurrency pay substantially more than their no-coiner equivalents. Oh, and by the way, if you're interested in working in crypto, then I know just the guy who can help. Top right, please. Back to Avalanche, though. To make things worse, almost every single Ethereum competitor leverages the Ethereum virtual machine for their smart contract functionality, including Avalanche. These smart contracts are coded in Solidity, which is a coding language that's used almost exclusively by cryptocurrency blockchain developers. This acts as a barrier to entry to new developers, leaving a limited amount of developers to go around. As a newer cryptocurrency project, Avalanche is likely lower on the list of priorities for these devs. On the bright side, though, Emin has a lot of connections in academia and no shortage of young, bright minds to tap as an Ivy League professor. I am quite confident that Avalanche will get back on track with its development goals, and I can't wait to see the effect all these new features are going to have on the price of the AVAX token. I'm not one to brag, but it feels damn good when I call out a crypto gem months in advance. Avalanche is a cryptocurrency I've been watching for quite some time, and it's amazing to see just how much ground the project has covered since September. I count over 50 partnerships so far, and those are just the ones that Avalanche has made public. I'm actually quite surprised that Avalanche founder Emin Sirer doesn't flaunt the potential CBDC partnerships more aggressively. I know there are many cryptocurrency blockchains vying for these golden CBDC contracts, but in my opinion, choosing the Avalanche network is a no-brainer. Avalanche is adding validators and delegators by the day, and also has no upper limit on how many can participate on the network, unlike many banker coin blockchains. You know which ones. Now, speaking of validators, it seems pretty clear that a substantial portion of the AVAX tokens that are supposed to be released over the next 10 years are being staked on the network in the meantime. Although it may not be against the rules, it does seem a bit unfair, since these early investors will earn a nice chunk of those AVAX staking rewards in addition to the millions of tokens they bought. Thankfully, those tokens won't be making it to the market anytime soon, meaning that the upwards price action of the AVAX token will see little to no resistance in the short term. I am also damn excited for Avalanche DeFi and seriously think that it could rival Ethereum's DeFi ecosystem and even Binance's CDeFi ecosystem. The question is whether we will see any substantial developments on that front before the end of the bull market. Even if nothing gets built anytime soon, I'm really not worried. I think it's clear which direction the AVAX token is headed. Up. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give that like button a nudge. If that subscribe button is red, it means the no-coiners are close. So protect yourself by subscribing to the channel and ping that notification bell to keep those Johnny-come-latelys away. If you want to see what other cryptocurrencies I'm holding besides AVAX, then subscribe to my weekly newsletter to find out. You'll also get a summary of what's hot and what's not in the cryptocurrency space. If you need something a bit more current, then join the Coin Bureau Insider Telegram channel. It's where I provide daily insights into the crypto markets. And don't worry, it's not like those other cryptocurrency Telegram channels. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter to get some memes and behind-the-scenes action. I don't run ads on these videos, so if you want to support the channel, then you can head on over to the Coin Bureau merch store and pinch some of this nifty apparel like I'm modeling here. You'll find links to my weekly newsletter, Telegram channel, socials, and merch store in the description. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy crypto hunting.